This is a book review of What If? The Complete Collection, Volume 4. I loved What If. I bought quite a few issues. No, I must admit, I was quite surprised when I was doing a bit of investigation before this, how many What If books and comics have come out. Loads and loads. I mean, this is the first series, and this first series started in 1977, obviously the 70s. So now I'm not certain when they actually, obviously, continued for 47 issues, and this actually concludes, I should say, issue 36 to 47. It's got about 490 pages in it, all in colour. There's the spine there. And the previous books are pretty good. I love the previous books as well. However, this book, I would say it's 70-30. 70% I liked, and 30% there were a few stories I really didn't enjoy in this. However, you may, of course, like the stories. Everyone has different tastes on what they like about these things. So you've got the What If Complete Collection, and you've got, and this is the thing I like about What Ifs, is that you've got a vast number of different artists and writers involved. It's not just one person all the way through. So it's an interest, and also different villains and different characters, and also twists and turns and all those sort of things. Some that you, as long as, for me, the key thing is it's a satisfying ending. It fits nicely. I hate the story where you think, well, that was why did I read it? Because the writer just gave up, just made a really stupid ending. You think, no. Especially if you didn't feel that the story was leading to that, and suddenly, bang, character just dies. Last panel. You go, what? You have to, I think that I personally, I mean, maybe old-fashioned, but I do like a story where you get feel, well, it's sort of heading in this direction, maybe some twists and turns. And you think, oh, maybe I'm not going to get exactly what I think I'm going to get. That's different. I don't mind being surprised, but I don't just, a last panel, oh, he's dead. Yeah. I enjoyed the comic, then you just ruined it in the last panel. But luckily, most of these are not like that. So you got this, of course, brilliant John Byrne art. I love his artwork. Fantastic Four was superb. And this is a good one where you've got the story where they haven't got powers. And that's excellent. It's a very short one, unfortunately. It would have been lovely if it had been more extended. I'm not a fan of the Mole Man. So they concentrate on the Mole Man story, the first story. Now, I think that what if they had no powers and they faced Galactus would have been a bit of a one-sided story. But then again, maybe not, because at the end of the day, when they did have their powers, they were no match for him. It was just ingenuity, obviously the Watcher, everything helping. But it's, Ben Grimm hitting Galactus is about the same as the Thing hitting Galactus, frankly. So, anyway, still a great story, all the same. A Man Called Nova. Now, I was never a Nova fan, so I only got a few issues, so I have no idea how the story ends anyway. So this could be what actually happens, as far as I'm concerned. But it was okay. Nothing that I would rush and read again. Now, the next one here, and they did lots of these things, whereas before you used to have a whole long story. Now, a lot of these were story and then another story, so it was half and half. And this one I just wasn't too big fan of. This was issue 37. The Thing continued to mutate. No. And also the Beast one as well. Didn't like that. The artwork as well was pretty, so there. Wasn't my cup of tea. However, the Norrin Rad one was quite good. We got the Silver Surfer, slightly different storyline, which is weird when you had two stories where it was like mutate, but it had some nice twists and turns with the Galactus story. Though you probably can work out the twists and turns before you even start reading it. So it was a good tale. Now this was a poignant one. Well, actually, the Silver Surfer one was as well. But you've got the story here. What if, now I didn't like the Daredevil and Captain America story, which is weird because it's the one that they put as the head top, the banner. However, you got Vision and Scarlet Witch, but that was a lovely story and thoroughly believing. Absolutely lovely story. Then you got Captain America one, that was okay. The Red Skull. Well, you never get rid of the Red Skull. He's always coming back. Of course, Captain America is a lot older, and he still continues on, of course. He never wants to give up, and I'm certain on his deathbed he'll still be going out trying to stop MODOK and all those sort of people. And also, I love these. Mega fan of letters pages. I would love them to include letters pages. I mean, I even enjoy the US Postal Service Statement of Ownership. I mean, you can look at that and go, date of filing, October, 1982. So it actually gives you the date, which is good. And then it got frequency of issues bi-monthly. And also number of issues published annually, 6. Annual subscription price, $6. And all the other information of great use. Yeah, good. Next story is brilliant. I love this one. I'm a mega fan of Conan. So you got Thor and Conan. Classic. What more can you wish for? Well, Conan versus Spider-Man, Conan versus Fantastic Four, Conan versus the X-Men, Conan versus etc. Or Red Sonja, but that's just never going to happen. Not at the moment. But that's a great story. Love that one. And this one, not so keen on, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, what if he'd not become Master, and you can see from the cover who it is. So it gives away again. Why didn't they put a picture of Doctor Strange? Obviously, actual Doctor Strange. And, but no, they include Mordo. And I'm not a fan of Mordo. Never enjoyed any of the Mordo comics. I must admit, he was always a character. Dormammu, Nightmare, whatever. Always enjoyed Clear. But Mordo, no. Really? Annoying. Anyway, the art's okay. It's not bad. This was okay, interesting as well. This is What If Submariner had saved Atlantis from Destiny. And I like that one because I love Submariner. So it also features the stories that were from Submariner 1, 2, 3, etc. with Destiny. And also, of course, the Fantastic Four issue 4, where you've got the Human Torch finding Submariner and reviving him. So it's a nice there and fairly decent tale. And decent ending as well. Now this one's quite good as well. Fantastic Four. This one is slightly odd because, and I'm going to avoid that page because that's the final page of that one. What if Susan Richards died in childbirth? That's what the comic even says, and they sort of ruins the story a bit. Really? Do you have to say that? Couldn't you have been a bit more sort of? What if the destiny? What if Annihilus had or something? So you sort of like left thinking, what's gonna? But no, it's the childbirth story. Yeah, but the artwork is superb. Really love the artwork in this one. Very much of its period, 1970s, 60s period. Obviously Kirby, Buscema, etc. You sort of resemblance, Romita. It's a good story. You've got another Conan story here, which is really nice. Conan comes to to today. And you got some of the characters, obviously, familiar characters turn up. So it's a good yarn, that one. The Doctor Strange one, another Doctor Strange one, seemed to be very popular. Doctor Strange, but you've got the universe is the key part of that story. What if the universe? Now you've got another one, Captain America here, Captain America again. What were not revived until today. And that was actually quite interesting because it sort of fits with the current today issues that we're going through at the moment. So in a sense, this is quite, but of course, nothing changes in the world. The world is always constantly having these issues and problems. So that was a good issue. So you got, what if the Hulk went berserk storyline? And that's good. I like that one. That would have been better if Herb Trimpe had been doing the artwork, but you can't have everything. That's what would have been my favourite. But it's actually quite decent. Though, to be honest, I don't think he was as berserk as I was expecting more berserk than the berserk in this book. Not really considering this as berserk. However, it's a good story. And you of course got Rick, etc. Usual suspects in this. And it's a good tale. That one was a good story as well. You've got, and I'm not going to, there. What if Ben had lived, of course. Not, I can't show it because I've got the end page of the other story. But it's got Peter Parker, obviously Ben Parker is alive, and it's actually a very touching story and well done. It's, I really like that one. Genuinely a really good story. Not so Ron Frentz, I have to say, I don't know the artist. Penciler, not familiar. But it was, well, we got the, it sort of follows the storylines, obviously, of the actual, if you've early Spider-Man Ditko period, you would know. So it's, again, there's some art there. That's really good story. Next story is what if Loki had found Thor's hammer first? And that was good. Nice twist, and yeah. But it sort of fits nicely, that bit, that story. I enjoyed it. And it's a nice end to the first series, whatever it would be called, first series of What If. Because What If stopped at that point. I don't know when it started again. But since then, there have been loads and loads of issues. So hopefully, that's how they bring out some more. So these, I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Great. So if you're familiar with the stories, obviously, if you've read them, the earlier ones, the quotes, real versions of the, it's even more fascinating. So if you're coming to it completely fresh, it doesn't particularly matter, does it? You're reading it as if the story, and then you'll be thinking, well, that would be interesting. What happens after that? So that's always the trouble with all these sort of books. What happens again and again? You want to find out more about your favourite characters. But that's the good sign of a good book. So What If, the complete collection, Volume 4. Thoroughly enjoyed this, as well as Volume 1. And I'm looking forward to Volume 2 and 3, though I have read the stories before. So I'm looking for. So this was one I was less familiar with some of the stories. I hadn't read some of them, so it was nice to go through this and finish off all the What Ifs up to issue 47, as I said.